Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Philly Phone Book, a podcast archive. I am your host, Gideon Carroll McDonald, and with me today is a very, very special guest. She is a comedian, writer, actor, and filmmaker. You may know from Dropout.tv, College Humor, and Desi Quest. Please welcome Rekha Shankar to the show.
Woo! Hello.
Yay. Hello. How are you today?
I'm so good. It's so hot out here, but we're all trying our best.
That's LA. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. We don't have fall.
We just got fall.
I know.
Philly really has been
Awesome.
on the hot end for a hot minute, and now we're like
Yes.
actively experiencing cold weather starting like yesterday.
Yes.
So it's been really nice.
That rocks. That rocks.
Yeah.
Okay, that rocks.
But also like 70 degrees is what we consider cold now. So we're just yeah, this is great.
We're all being cooked. Yeah.
We're all being cooked. That's how it is. Well, thank you. Philly says hi. We're zooming in from where Rekha is right now.
Yes.
And you took a moment of your day to talk to little old me. So thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me, Gideon.
Oh, of course. Of course. Well, let's just jump right into it. I know you quite well as a fan for a hot minute now, but not everybody may know. Or, if anything, I'd love for you to give your own little introduction, who you are, how you got to be, and how you made it into the comedy biz.
Yeah. So I'm a comedy writer and performer. I'm in LA. I am from Philadelphia, and I got into this whole thing. Let's see. I mean, I always wanted to do something that made people laugh, but
Yeah.
like many people, I did not know that was a job. And
Right.
when I got to high school, I remember one of my friends being like, "You should go to film school." And I was like, "That's crazy." Because I didn't grow up watching movies. I grew up watching a lot of TV and sitcoms. And I was like, why would I go to film school? Film school is for like directors. I just want to like make comedy. And also I was just like, I'm at a loss for how that would even happen. I had no performer background. I was extremely academic. I went to like UPenn had like a summer program for biomedical research that I did when I was 15. So like that's the
nice.
kind of stuff I was doing. And the Annenberg Science Symposium, like after school and stuff like that. And I thought I was going to be a doctor because that stuff genuinely did interest me. But
Yeah.
comedy was always just something I kept returning to where like, well, I was taping every episode of Seinfeld that aired on TBS, and I was taping every episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway and watching it and making my friends do the games on my dad's camcorder or something. And, you know, it's weird when you realize you were someone that wanted to be a comedian and like nobody else around you wanted to be a comedian, because you look back, you're like, damn, I was really like trying to do stuff. And it's just like nobody wants to do this like you want to do it. So
Right.
you're drawing from a well that is like not interested. And so when I got to college, I went to NYU and I was in theory undeclared when I went in. But I was so depressed in the first 3 months. I was like thinking I was going to do pre-med. So I wanted to get all my gen eds out of the way. And
Yeah.
I was just like, these class sizes are huge. Nobody is funny. I'm like, that's a weird complaint to have.
Everyone here is lame.
Yeah, why is no one being funny in my history of whatever modern civilization class or whatever?
There's so much material.
Yeah, right. And I was just like, this is a sign. I need to transfer. I need to listen to what my friend told me 4 years ago, and I'm gonna try to get into the film program.
Cool.
And I had done morning announcements and like messed around on Final Cut and iMovie in high school. We had like a department that you could do that in.
Yeah.
So I had some background. So I was like, I just need to apply to film school. I know I don't have the same resume as these other people, but whatever. So I like got it should be illegal, the camcorder they sold me, because it was a mini DVD. I'm like, that's not a format that anyone uses. Whatever. So I got this stupid camcorder. I made a documentary and then I wrote a comedic essay for my application and I was so annoying. I stopped in like every week to the film like admissions office being like, "Is there anything I can do to supplement my application? Do you know when about will find out?" Blah 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 blah. I was so unbelievably annoying. And I got in.
Oh,
And it was just
yeah.
like, "Holy crap, it's possible."
Yeah.
And when I was in that major, even still I found, "Oh, there's only a couple comedy writing classes here."
Hmm.
And I fell into editing as video editing as well. And so I really just tried to like make that work for me. I was like, okay, I got to film and edit my own stuff a bit. And that's kind of what followed me out of college is I was just like an editor for my own stuff.
Mhm.
And my day job was always assistant video editing and being in post production.
Cool. Yeah.
So I worked for true crime television. I worked for Cash Cab. I did all these like horrible jobs in New York. And then I started to do UCB during the day to be like, I need to be a better writer. And then I was like, wait, I love performing. I didn't know I was allowed to perform. I thought I was like a dog performer. I got
Mm.
such a harsh note from a college professor in a class that wasn't even about acting. It was just like it was about directing, but you needed everyone to be your actor in the class.
Right.
And she
Yeah.
such a horrible note. She's like, "You act like a gay man." And I was like, "I don't think you're allowed to say that because
What?
what does that mean?" First of all, thank you. And it's like,
First of
what
all,
does,
that's an awesome compliment. Thank you so much.
first of all, okay, that means I have incredible charisma. I'm like, what does that mean?
That means I'm awesome.
And you're
I,
my professor. I don't think you could say anything like that.
that's next
Um,
level weird.
it's super weird, and I was like, "Okay,
Mm-mm.
I'm a terrible performer, got it, I will never perform,
Yeah.
whatever." But then I started doing improv, I was like, "Sorry, everyone, I have to do this." And
Yeah.
it just sort of snowballed from there, and because I was writing and editing my own stuff, I had sketches that were on YouTube, which is how I got involved with College Humor. I applied for
Mm-hmm.
that. I applied for that 2015, I didn't get it. And then I
Oh,
applied again 2 years later and I got it. And that's what moved me out to LA from
boom.
the East Coast. And then just started doing more and more from there, very much having to just do it myself.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can relate because you do both music and you like produce this podcast. Like sometimes when you're behind the scenes, people see you as behind the scenes. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to remain behind the scenes, you have to force people to see you
Yep.
in a different way. So I had to really like claw my way and be like, I'm not just an editor. I can also perform, please, dear God. And now
Yeah.
I don't tell people I edit because I don't want them to ask me to do
Right.
it.
You don't want to dig that hole for yourself.
No. So that's my very, very long answer.
That's an awesome answer. That's great. I mean, art is all about persistence. That's what
Sure.
I've figured out. Like
Oh, yeah.
every teacher that I've had, especially now, they're just like, look, be annoying because that'll
Yeah.
get you where you need to go.
And be annoying in the right way. Like
Exactly.
if that lady at the film office was too nice to me. If she had given me a little stink, I would have run away. I would have
Yeah.
stopped coming to talk to her.
End of career. Stopping it right there. There's the
Absolutely.
roadblock.
I have to stop talking to you because I'm annoying you.
Hmm.
But yes, I literally this is so humiliating. I have a note card above my desk from an episode of Project Runway that says repetition is reputation because
Yeah.
I have had to abide by that. Nobody has plucked me from obscurity. Everything I have gotten has been like I have bled to death on the sidewalk to achieve.
Hmm. And it makes you
But
feel
yeah,
better.
yeah,
Like knowing that you did that much to get there,
yeah,
then it's like, oh, I earned this.
yeah,
I'm here
yeah.
for a reason. It
It,
helps fight the constant imposter syndrome.
yes. And then that being said, I will take a job from obscurity if anyone wants to give it to me. That sounds
Hey,
awesome. And I'll feel
please.
really good about it.
It's gonna feel great.
Uh,
Ah, well, yay. Yeah. That's awesome. And now
yeah.
you're keeping up with the LA improv scene
Mhm.
consistently. You're with Dropout. I I do improv as well. Improv is one of those things that I discovered accidentally, where it
Yeah.
was a friend of mine opened up a club while I attended UArts
Cool.
while it was still open, and they had asked me if I wanted to try it out, and I was like, sure. And literally most of my jobs since then have been improv related, and it's one
Cool.
of those outlets that I didn't realize was so. I mean, obviously it's free,
Yeah.
like freeing, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to know, like, once you started to like exercise that improv bone, how did that then influence your decisions to do more performance work and scripted work while still maintaining an improv career?
Yeah. Well, I'll say that, like, when I started improv, I actually started it purely to supplement my writing because I had
Mm,
heard doing improv would make you a better writer, and I had
awesome.
thought I was such a dog performer that I was like, "This will not last. This will just be to help me."
Mm,
Um, but it was just crazy. I ended up loving it so much, and I think part of it was that I just couldn't I was the prototypical example of someone who got the bug where, like, you thought I
mm-hmm.
might have been an intern at the theater because I was just hanging out there so much. Because I think a couple of things were happening. One, I felt like I found my people in this way, where I found people that weren't afraid to embarrass themselves and where mistakes were secondary to getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I my friends growing up are so hyper competent. I think I had this impression that I was like a screw up because I was always the youngest of the group. There was something about me that felt very little sister, very baby, where I
Oh,
was
okay.
just like a year behind everybody else because I was
Yeah.
like a year or two younger than all my friends. And there was something about being allowed to be an idiot and it actually being necessary to getting better
Mm-hmm.
that was really just, like, blew my mind open, and I saw so quickly how it affected my writing
Yeah.
that I was like, even if I hated performing, I would have to continue doing this, and I happened to be obsessed with performing, and
Awesome.
I just never done that before, and I'd never had people, like, say my take on something was, like, good or interesting,
Mm,
and that felt awesome, and I think knowing that my take could be good or interesting then also gave me more confidence writing. And they both just kept feeding each other because it was
yep.
like, well, all sketch is your take on something, you
Right.
know? And so I just kept kind of ping ponging back and forth and like letting each of those activities feed the other. Um, and then I think getting to be at UCB and performing on that stage was just like addicting.
Yeah, it seems
And
it.
and the fact that it could lead to like I get to perform my own jokes. I could be like a professional idiot. That
Yeah.
sounds awesome, you know, and that kind of became the goal. Yeah, I don't know if that totally answered your question.
Oh, it absolutely does. I
Okay,
I
cool.
100% get it. That
Yeah.
sort of feeling that I can fall flat on my face and it still work out.
Yes.
And then I am informed by that fall.
Yeah.
In a way that like messing up a line in a scripted show will never feel. Um,
Yeah.
so I absolutely get it.
Yeah, and your
Um,
mistakes go away immediately. The
right.
scene's done and no one talks no one it doesn't exist anymore.
Because it's so trusting too. The room is
Yeah.
so full of people that are ready to pick you up.
Yeah.
In a way that I feel like other projects or other mediums don't have,
Yeah.
which has been such a joy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Totally.
awesome. I'd love to talk about Philly a little bit before we keep
Yeah.
diving into your artwork. You have a connection to Philadelphia. You're from here.
Yes.
So I'd love to talk about your experience while you were here
Yeah.
and what the city still means to you while
Yeah.
you've then been based in LA since.
Yeah. I feel like for me, I feel a bit fraudulent as a Philadelphian sometimes because I was a transplant there when I was 9. I moved
Right.
from Connecticut and my whole family is immigrants from India. So like I always kind of joke, but it's also true. Like we just live there. They weren't
Mm.
like we must go to Philadelphia, you know?
Yeah.
They don't have like a connection, like some otherworldly connection to it. Whereas like my partner is like a third generation Philadelphian,
Cool.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, his life is very different.
Mhm.
His family is like, "You gotta see blank," and, like, he grew up on the Philadelphia sports scene, having
Of
that
course.
injected into his brain, whereas like, my family are Philly sports fans, but by transplant, you know, like, we didn't
Right.
grow up that way.
By proxy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, I grew up pretty, like, parallel track to Philadelphia. It's just, like, it just happens to be where I live. I don't have a particular relationship with it.
Yeah.
Then when I got to high school, my friends and I would take the train in
Mhm.
and do a little more exploring, but even still, I was not, like, a concert goer, whereas my friends were. So, like, I've been to the Electric Factory. I've been to the what is that venue that's in a church basement?
Oh,
Maybe the Lutheran church or
yes,
something.
I know exactly what you're talking
That
about.
was my first concert. I saw Harry and the Potters there. Um,
Whoa.
I saw Block Party at the Electric Factory. I saw Snow Patrol somewhere. So like I would occasionally pop in for that stuff, but
Yeah.
then also they would go to Philly for dim sum, and I'm a vegetarian. So there are all these like weird ways where like
Mm.
I didn't have a need to be in the city, and so I didn't explore it as much. But then I did that like camp at UPenn and was like, oh, this is a really cool place.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then I moved away to New York for college. And only now
Mm.
am I really in my 30s going back and being like, hold on, I can actually be really empowered. I know how to live in a city now. I didn't know before.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
For
I
sure.
am not afraid to like hop on the SEPTA and get off the wrong stop, but like I don't care about that anymore. It doesn't scare me where it used to scare me before I went to college. And now that I've lived in two major cities, New York and LA, I'm like, oh, Philly's so much smaller. I'm not scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have no sense of direction. So I think that was also another intimidating thing. My friends seemed to know where everything was without having to look anything up.
Yeah.
And now that I'm not afraid to wander and we all have smartphones, I'm like, oh, I can just walk around Rittenhouse Square and get lost. Like, that's awesome. I remember we would think it was so cool to like get a coffee in Rittenhouse Square or whatever. I'm
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
and it still is.
Yeah.
So I'm
All
like
right.
exploring it so much more in my adulthood. And I'm like, oh, there is vegetarian food here. I can
Yes.
find all of it now. And oh, there are things for me except for concerts. There's like I just went to the Magic Garden for the first time.
Oh,
Like
awesome.
a year ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I I like I grew up going to the Franklin Institute, so that was always a thing. But just like there's
Of
certain
course.
things that I like now I'm able to discover that I didn't know about before. I
Mhm.
like just started going to I think I went to what's it called? Art Mart. It's something on
Oh, South
like
Street.
yeah, South
South Street
Street.
Art Mart? Yeah.
Yes, I just went there for the first time. Like, I like have had this like rediscovery of like, oh, I'm from a really cool place. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
And I think it's through my partner. It's through my roommate who's from Philadelphia. It's
Oh,
through
great.
two of my close friends, Jess and Kate, who are from Philadelphia. My other friend Corinne, who's from Philadelphia. My friend Dave Danella, who's from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I found this huge crew of people here, and I was like, I didn't know I was from such a cool place. Thank you guys for telling me.
Yeah.
And so now when I go back, I do make it a point to try to go to the city. So it's like a weird, I didn't know you were there kind of
Mm.
relationship. And
Oh,
then
that's awesome.
I think I've also like my movie made me like so emotional for how nice Philadelphia has been to me as a transplant who didn't know how cool it was.
Mhm.
Where there's so many people that have been so kind and being like, "Hey, we want to name a pizza after you here at Queen and Ruck." We like all this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Philadelphia is such a fucking cool art city. Damn,
Yep.
I didn't know any of this." I'm like, I'm just figuring it out.
Oh, that's so great. That's so
Yeah.
cool that it made itself known to you
Yeah.
later in life. And I also, I mean, Philly people find each other. It's one of
Yeah.
those cultures that I've noticed that makes itself known everywhere
Yeah.
in a way that is not braggadocious, but like pride, like
Yeah.
just aggressive, loud pride.
Yeah.
Because I even, I knew that you were from Philadelphia because it's gotten brought up in like videos or
Right.
like shows that you've done just because people are like, I'm from Philly. Or like
Yeah.
people make jokes about Philly, and then it's like, well,
Yes.
yes, I'm from Philly, but that
Yes.
doesn't happen about other places. Like it's
Yeah.
one of the few cities I feel like people love to talk about,
I
you
think
know?
people love to talk about it because there's so many angles you can come in at. It's so important in pop culture.
Yes, it is.
There's so many artists from Philadelphia. There's so much like quintessential like music, just like that
Mhm.
like I don't know, especially I'm a soft rock fan. I'm
Mm.
like, we have Hall and Oates. It's just like
Yeah,
there's so many cool things you might not even realize are from Philadelphia. And I think what I found striking is that I've always felt a little like fraudulent again because I'm
of
not
course.
born in Philadelphia and my family's all immigrants. But I found it so nice and like wonderful that in my 30s, this city is like, "You are from here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Thank
Mm.
you." I feel
Yeah.
sort of untethered and rootless generally in my life, and it's so nice that you're telling me I'm from here, which is like,
Mm.
I don't know, it's something very sweet.
I mean, that pizza must have felt awesome. I remember when Queen and Rook did that because I've been a fan of them for a while. I've had friends that work
Yeah.
there. And I remember when they opened and expanded, and because I'm a huge tabletop fan as well. And so that place was just really exciting.
Yeah.
And I remember them posting about that, and I was like, that's dope. Do you know how that came about?
Yes. So Sarah Cowell, who's an awesome like social media guru in
Yeah.
Philadelphia, and she does a lot of social media for businesses like T Moms
Mm-hmm.
and Queen and Rook and several like art spots in Philly. I am barely on Twitter anymore, but she added me because on an episode of Gastronauts, my best friend's show on Dropout, Jordan Myrick,
Big fan.
um, they're great. I my challenge was a thing I legitimately thought would never happen, which is like, I will never get a dish named after me. Why would anyone name something the Reka in the United States? So I tasked the chefs to come up with a dish that was like the Reka, and I gave them like
Right.
some dumb random things about me to do that. So Sarah saw that and tweeted at me and was like, "Hey, I don't even know she knew I was from Philadelphia." She was like, "Hey, we'll name a dish after you. I work at T Moms and Queen and Rook." And I had just been to T Moms the previous Christmas for the
Mm.
first time because my boyfriend took me, and his best friend is vegan and was like, "You got to try these wings." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, these are incredible."
Great vegan
So
options. Yeah.
when I found out she worked at T-Moms, I'm like, "I love T-Moms." And then my boyfriend was like, "Wait, what the f T-Moms is reaching out to you? That's so cool."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I, hit her up on it, and she was like, "Genuinely, this can happen."
Hmm.
And then we started doing, like, R&D conversations. I was like, "This is crazy." And I told her I had this idea for a samosa chaat pizza because I in general, I would love to see more South Indian food, popularized, but
Of course.
I love Indian food. I love cooking Indian food. My movie is a lot about someone cooking Indian food.
Yes, it is.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, it would be cool to do a tie-in with my Kickstarter. She's like, we can make that happen. And I was like, why? That's crazy. That to me felt the most like, I'm from Philadelphia. This like
Yeah.
restaurant is going to have a pizza with like an Indian name. Like, I don't know, that it like made me so emotional. Like I've only read my name in a book 2 times, and I
Mm-hmm.
cried both times.
Yeah. For
Like,
sure.
one of them sorry, wasn't even I read it. My ex told me my name is in the satanic verses. So, I just was like, "Wow, that's so beautiful."
Whoa.
Um,
Amazing.
so to see my name on a menu is just like, "Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
crazy." Yeah, so
Oh,
that's how that came about.
that's awesome. Yeah, I think Philadelphia has a cool way of showing love.
Yeah.
And that absolutely was one of those moments where I was like, look at us being proud of people that are making it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so sick.
Yeah, again, I'm just in my renaissance of discovering places. So I feel kind of like I just moved there in a way. And
Yeah.
now it's like such a great time to live there because I'm like, when I was in high school, I didn't know there was a place called Veg. I don't think there was a place called Veg.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know about Hip City Veg. I didn't know about any of these places. I had no way to research these places if they existed at all. I literally
Right.
was like, Philadelphia is full of meat because all my friends go and eat dibs on there and I can't eat anything. And now I'm like, oh my God, the vegan and vegetarian scene
It's
rocks.
massive. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
rocks. I did fully get COVID at Veg. That's not Veg's fault, but that's
Well,
okay. I
you
got COVID
know,
there.
hey, it's all right.
And that's okay. That's love. That's
That's love. That's love. But yeah, no, that's lovely. I think that the food scene is also like a good representation of the art scene
Yes.
because I've lived here my whole life. Grew up here. I grew up in the Italian market, and I've just been here ever since, which is also a lovely place to be for both
Yeah.
arts and food
Yeah.
and culture because it's such a mixing pot in a genuine way.
Yeah.
And I think that it shows itself through all of these mediums as a city where people can truly be like, yeah, I'm going to just share my stuff. And
Yeah.
people are ready to be like, I want to try that stuff.
Yeah.
Like in a small way because I've also, as an actor, I've obviously paid attention to New York and their scene and, other areas of the country that would allow me to pursue what I love.
Yeah.
but I've decided to stay here and focus my art here because I felt that this city can still feel very small in a way
Yeah.
that's comforting.
Yeah.
Because New York is very big, very like, it feels like the machine that you want to be a part of. And if that's what you want to do, that's great, right? More power to you.
Yeah.
But as someone in the theater scene here, it's a people game.
Yeah.
And getting to know everybody and share artwork and like
Yeah.
Fringe as a whole, which we just wrapped up,
Yeah.
really is something that is special. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's really cool, like, again, discovering it now. See, like, I've like weirdly been following so many like screen printers from Philadelphia, and
Mm-hmm.
like I just commissioned some merch,
Oh, awesome.
spoiler, from like a
Ooh.
Philly artist, and I'm like, oh, it's very cool to see what people are doing just like out of their houses or in these like small galleries or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, yeah, it feels kind of like what UCB used to be in that it was like a little punk rock, like a very like whatever we have to do, we'll do it. And not this a glamorized starving artist, but it is really cool and special to see that alive in like what is a major city, but is a smaller city.
Yeah. Um, in your time here, and especially now,
Hmm.
experiencing it again,
Hmm.
we may have touched on it already, but I like asking this question for my guests on the pod. What do you think has been a lesson that the city has taught you? Just like a way of life or a fact about who you are or how you need to be
I
now
honest
experiencing it.
so I think weirdly, it has to say that I'm from Philadelphia, because I think again, I, have felt like I'm not really from anywhere, not like, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's something that people say when they move around a lot. I didn't move around a lot, I moved, like, once.
Yeah.
But because my family's not from there and we're just there incidentally, like,
Right.
I didn't go to Valley Forge Park until, like, 2 years ago, and I've lived
Yeah.
in Philadelphia since, like, 1999. There were all these things I just, like, never did or never experienced. I've never been to an Eagles game. I think I've been to one Phillies game. But in saying I'm from Philadelphia, I get this like warm welcome that feels like fraudulent, but everyone's
Mm.
been so nice to me and being like, no, it's not. It's okay. And like, even in just this big endeavor to make my movie,
Mm-hmm.
I feel so much support from this place that I am from on paper, but like I just never knew much about. And they're telling me, "Hey, welcome. We love you. We want to help." And I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you." Like I didn't know this was here. I didn't know this community was here.
Yeah.
And I think they're telling me it was, it is, it will be. Like we've got your back. And I think that's like a really special lesson. And like I can't say that having lived in New York or LA that those cities have my back.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it's so nice. I cannot believe how Philadelphia is nothing if not adamant.
Mm-hmm. Yup.
Whatever the topic at hand might be about
Yeah.
sports, about art, about their artists. And so
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I was included. And I think that was a lesson it's taught me that
Oh,
I am included, I guess.
you're absolutely included. That's why you're on here. That's
Yeah,
why I'm doing
yeah,
this.
it's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, and I will say that all of my friends because once you said yes to this,
Yeah,
I did share it with my group chats and friends.
yeah.
I was like, hey, check this out, and everyone was just like, really?
That's
So
so nice. Oh my
all of
God, that's
my
so nice.
people say hello and are really happy that you
I'm
are
so
sharing some time.
glad. I'm so glad. Yeah, it's
Yay.
made me like more excited to try to learn more about Philadelphia stuff and weirdly parrot it in the platforms that I have.
Right,
you know?
for sure. Which I think is a perfect segue. I would love to deep dive into your art, what you're
Yeah.
making.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do so many things. But I, of course, want to give the time to your upcoming film.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank
Congratulations on the
you.
Kickstarter, which has been fully funded in a
Yes.
phenomenal way. You have a movie coming out
Yeah.
called Vidya's Guide to the Afterlife.
Correct.
And I would love for you to have the floor and tell us about this movie,
Yeah.
and what it's meant to you in the process
Yeah.
of writing it.
Yeah. So, logline of the movie, it's about a Hindu rapture, which is not a real thing, and it takes away all the best Hindus in the world except the dumbest one, which will be my character.
Lovely.
And then there's a like Hindu priest character that's left behind, and she and him work together to try to get all the Hindus back. So it's very stupid. I hope it doesn't sound religious or serious. It is religious only insofar as it talks about belief versus knowledge. Like, can
Mm-hmm.
you know a lot about a religion and then that leads to belief, or is belief just belief?
Yeah.
But it is a comedy, I swear. And it has been so fun to make. The starting point of it was just like, you know, I was half raised by my grandparents and I lost my grandfather several
Mm.
years ago. And it was so colossally jarring to me.
Yeah.
It it felt like my friend Allie Gordon put it in a really good way. She just had a book come out called We've Reached the End of Our Show that everyone should read. But
Mm.
she's like, it's the end of a world, you know? And there's this
Yep.
apocalyptic feeling when something like that happens because it is the end of a world. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, right. So, like making a movie about a rapture where it feels like it's the end of the world, when in reality, one of the things you're having to grapple with is how do I do the culture by myself? Is it even
Mm.
possible? If
Mm-hmm.
everybody's gone, could I really be the last Indian Hindu on the face of the earth? Oh no. Oh no. Then society's in for some trouble if I'm the resource? So
Right.
I wanted to play with that because, like, growing up in the Philly suburbs, at the time, I mean, if it's homogenous now, it's ultra, ultra homogenous. I think my area was like 95% Caucasian when I was growing up.
Yeah.
There were two Indians in my middle school. I was half of that. And then my high
Mm-hmm.
school, there were there were like 12 or 15. It was a little bit more. But there was a South Asian culture club, and I was just like, "I'm the dumbest person that's ever been alive. I don't know any of this stuff."
Mm.
Something I realized later is most of the people in that club were North Indian, and so, like, things I thought I should know, like, vocabulary-wise, were not even in my family's language, so I was like, "I've never heard this word. Am I the
Right.
stupidest person in the world?"
Yeah.
And sometimes the answer was, "You simply don't know it," and sometimes it was like, "You've never heard this because your family speaks Tamil and they're speaking Gujarati or something."
Mm.
And those are totally, completely different languages, even though they're both in India. So there were so many growing pains in trying to figure out my culture. I never personally had the experience of being ashamed and being like, "My lunch at school is weird." I'm like, "I don't care." And also, I had PB&J. Like, but like even when I brought Italy to
Right.
school, I'm like, "I don't care. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed on Diwali. I'm not embarrassed to wear a gagra. I like wore a langa like top for my school picture. I wasn't embarrassed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Let me in." So much
For
of my
sure.
experience is like, "Let me in. Can I be let in? Please let me in." But them being like, no, I don't feel like you quite fit." Me being sad. And so this movie is kind of me exploring like, it's okay to be where you're at. Meet yourself where you're at. It's okay. And so this project has taken, you could say, my entire life, but realistically a couple years.
For sure.
And doing the Kickstarter was f***ing crazy and it took everything out of me, but now we're finally going to film it in a few weeks.
Yay.
And Philadelphia really came through for me in like helping partner with the Kickstarter at Queen and Rook. They got that
Mm-hmm.
pizza. They flew Sarah out to make the pizza with me on stage at a show
Whoa.
at my Kickstarter show. They flew her out from Philadelphia
Yeah.
and she
That's awesome.
brought all the pizza ingredients in a bag. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's
That's commitment.
crazy.
That's
Uh,
commitment.
yeah. I don't even know what your question was, Gideon, but
You answered. Your movie sounds so exciting.
thank
As
you.
I lost my grandfather a few years ago as
Yeah,
well,
I'm sorry.
and it was the first experience of loss I had. Like I
Yeah.
had not had a family member leave before,
Yeah.
and I'm Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
and so I also resonate with this idea of not being connected to culture,
Yeah.
because I'm mixed.
Yeah.
And my grandparents, this one being the grandfather
Yeah.
as well, um, didn't really integrate Puerto Rican culture into my mother's life while they were growing up in the States, because when my grandmother moved from Puerto Rico, she just was like, nope. Like
Yeah.
we're not speaking Spanish much. We're not doing this. And so thus I did not grow up being able to speak Spanish. I didn't grow up having that kind of food in my life. And so now in adulthood, I'm so hyper aware of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, whoa, okay. I'm surrounded by all of these incredible Latino people in my
Yeah.
life who are like, no, you're this thing. Be
Yeah.
aware of that. And I did a project while I was in school that was a play written by a wonderful playwright named Santi
Mhm.
about being a Latinx person. And
Mhm.
so everybody played a different body part. And
Mm.
the whole process was written, directed, and performed by Latinx people.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that had ever happened to me. And so it was like,
Yeah.
whoa, I'm invited into this space
Yeah, that's nice.
and I understand what this feels like now.
Yeah.
So all that is to say, I think the message of your film and
Yeah.
that feeling like you're carrying this culture on your shoulders without really
Yeah.
understanding how to hold it is brilliant. And I'm very,
Yeah.
very excited to see it.
Thank
And
you.
yeah,
Me too. I'm excited for it to be
right.
done.
Yeah. Has the writing process for it been, I mean, of course it's been different, but I want to know how it's been different as this very personal project as opposed to, say, being on a writer's team. Like you have
Yeah.
a lot of experience with that, with shows across the board, like Animaniacs,
Mhm.
which I'm a big fan of also. I just
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
say because I saw that
Incredible.
you did that and I got very excited. But Animaniacs, Grand Crew, College Humor,
Yeah.
Digman, you've been on these teams writing for sketch and comedy and cartoons.
Mhm.
How has the approach been for you as a writer to then be like, okay, I'm writing this movie about
Yeah.
something very dear to me for me with a team chosen by me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a few things. This is a really crazy thing about right how I wrote this, but when I first wrote it, I I every time I've written a character that's based on me, they end up like super passive, wishy-washy, boring and bad.
Mm.
And so a trick I do that is crazy is I rename the character a white person's name because if I name them an Indian name, I'm like, this is me, and I've put this is going to be like, I have to make it so I nuance it to death, and they make no decisions. But when I make it a white person, I'm like, this isn't me, and I can make it a character, and then I change the
Whoa.
name back to an Indian name after. And I know
That's
that's crazy. That's
wild.
crazy. I know that's crazy. And maybe is that I'm like, are the politics of that bad?
Is there
But
something internalized there?
I don't know what's going on. But I named her Tracy after Tracy Flick from Election when I
Mm,
first wrote the
mm-hmm.
script because I wanted her to be type A. And I was like,
Right.
if I name her Vidya or whatever, I'm just gonna accidentally write it too close to myself. And I want to give
Wow.
myself latitude. I've done this with like writing a male character, like give it so much distance from myself, and then flip it and make it
Mm,
back to me again after I've already written it, so that I can just like make sure it's a real whole character. This is just a habit I have. Maybe not everyone has this issue,
yeah.
but I named her Tracy the first few drafts, and when I felt like she had a solid enough character and that she wasn't me, I flipped it back, and I was like,
Mm.
cool. So that's one crazy, maybe humiliating writing trick. And
I
then
get it. I get it.
thank you, Gideon. And
Yeah.
then another thing I have done that was like really specific to this, because like that's not something I would do for something I'm writing for other people,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Right.
It's just when it's so personal, it can be hard. You want to include every aspect of everything. And it's like, that's not how story works all the time, though. You have to think of
Mm-hmm.
the story, right?
Yeah,
And
the
I
arc.
think putting it in the body of someone totally different allowed me to pare down to the essentials for the story.
Mm.
And I still gave her all my specifics. Like if I'm calling someone grandma, I'm using the Tamil word, but it was just like I need her to have like two strong character personality traits, and she's in a movie. Is gonna
Right.
end. That's one thing. And then I think too, it's really hard to write jokes for yourself sometimes
Oh,
because
yeah.
you know what you like to perform and what you like to do, but especially as an improviser, some of that stuff isn't funny in a feature. So we do these table reads, and I'd write these things, and I'm like, I think this would do well on stage. but you must account for the fact that part of why it does well on stage is because it's live, and live just has an energy. And maybe it's also it's so impressive that you came up with that on the spot. There's like an element of that that's enjoyable.
Yeah,
Like,
the novelty of
yes,
improv. Yeah.
yes. And that's why there's so many improv scenes that don't translate to a sketch necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have to heighten it, or you have to really write your jokes. You have to really spend time on it. It can't just be a quirk that a character has that's funny in a scene. So I
Right.
really had to tone back the way I normally think of myself as a comedian, which is a lot of improv, and
Hmm.
kind of be like, I'm picking up a bad habit from improv, which is impressing people with thinking on the spot.
Gotcha.
And when
Yeah.
you have a movie, no one freaking cares.
Right.
You know,
Right. Yeah,
you
for sure.
have to really make sure these jokes are solid. So I had to
Mm.
go back through and eliminate all the stuff that was like, this would be a cute Rekha bit on stage that would do well, or this would do well in an episode of Game Changer, even where people are
Mm-hmm.
like still working on the spot. And not flying in this feature. Nobody laughed at the table read. Okay, like,
Right.
examine it. And so
Yeah.
I really had to go back and put in some hard jokes or eliminate places where I thought a joke was needed. That was another thing. As
I
a sketch
see.
writer, I'm trying to put in a bunch of jokes because in my mind, I'm like, this is a comedy. I need to assert it's a comedy. And my director's like, chill the out.
Mm-hmm.
They get it's a comedy.
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's okay. And sometimes you have to let stuff breathe for a joke to later hit.
Yeah.
And you can't be an improviser that's like, nobody's laughed in the first 3 lines.
Oh no. Oh God.
Yeah, I feel sick.
Right. You're not winning an audience over
Yeah,
right
yeah,
away.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You can't. Some
You
of the
can't.
funniest movies I've ever seen, I bet you there were many minutes of screen time I did not laugh.
Mm-hmm. Right, because it's focused on the story. You want to
Yes,
tell a story. Yeah.
exactly,
And
exactly.
yeah. And improv is fun with story, but nobody's there for that.
No, and
Nobody's there.
I bet you we've all seen movies that ostensibly should have been really funny, but maybe gave themselves over a little bit too much to the sketchy nature. So you don't
Mm-hmm.
end up caring about the characters very much, but you're like, there's some great jokes, but I don't really care about the story, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That
Yeah.
that makes total sense.
Yeah.
That makes absolute complete sense.
Thank you.
Um, as the writer of this film,
Mhm.
how has your time as a performer also influenced that? Because you've been able to perform in a lot of different projects in a lot of different ways, mainly in comedy,
Yeah.
with shows like Aunty Donna,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
which I just like throwing stuff at you that I
Oh my
like. I'm just
gosh.
like Aunty Donna was
Thank
lovely. I
you.
love that
That's so
show, and
nice.
Aunty Donna, the movie of Between Two Ferns,
Yeah.
and the multitude of Dropout projects, including Ultra Megatron Team Go,
Oh, yeah.
which my friends put me on. Yeah, we love that show.
Oh, so some people did watch Scripted Dropout.
Look, hey, if you need a quote, if you need
Yes.
anyone that's like, hey, people will watch a season 2, Reka, we
Well,
will.
it's so funny because we did I See You, Fern, and I so appreciate this because we did all this scripted stuff for Dropout,
Yeah, that
but
early
because
age.
yeah, Dropout was not intended to be an unscripted network.
Right.
So we were pitching scripted stuff all the time.
Mm,
So Katie had Kingpin Katie, I had Gods of Food, we had Ultra Megatron, we had Troopers,
yeah.
we had a thing for Raph that was in the works that got killed because of what happened where we got laid off.
Right. That moment.
But,
Yeah.
but like there were all these scripted things and they cost so much money to make. You
Right.
know, I feel like the viewership was like nobody watched those things. If you would go to the Discord channel back when Discord existed for Dropout,
Hmm.
nothing on any of those channels.
Oh wow.
And it would be like, have you heard of this show called Troopers? Yeah, I kind of heard of it. What is it? And it's like, whoa, that show
Hmm.
is so expensive and it looks great. Have you heard of Kingpin Katie? No, what is that? Holy that show is so expensive and looks great. Sammy
Right.
Cohen did an incredible job. Oh no. And I can't speak to what the actual reasoning for the pivot was, but
For sure.
pandemic, yada yada, popularity, like we became
Hmm.
unscripted. And so now it's so funny if we did this like bit on Smarty Pants with the Ultra Megatron Team Go season 2 hard drive, and people are
Yep.
like, I would see season 2. I'm like, did anybody watch season 1? Oh my god, because like none of the numbers were adding up to anything that could remotely equal profit.
Yeah.
And
Right.
these
Right.
are so expensive to make. And that was when the directors were on salary. They weren't even like, I don't even know that they
Gotcha.
made an additional fee. It was when we were all still working at college and were full time.
For
So
sure.
it's so strange to see the like turnaround, like the full circle where like, oh, people want scripted now. Where the hell was this before?
Where'd it
I made a chef's table parody and I think 4 people watched it. This is crazy.
go? I would actually love to quickly deep dive a little into
Please.
the time at Dropout.
Yeah.
I want to know from your perspective, being inside the beast and being inside of it for so long, getting to experience college humor at its like internet peak, and how influential it was for so many young artists and comedians,
Yeah.
to then now become Dropout, which,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you're aware, is this phenomenon
Yeah.
of like pop culture moments and putting improv in a genuine like place
Yeah.
as like an art medium
Yeah.
to enjoy, because
Yeah.
I remember improv being a thing like, oh, you're a part of an improv troupe, like, and
Totally.
now people are seeing shows like Game Changer and being and make some noise, and like, yeah, this is hilarious, this is awesome, and I want to do this. And then
Yeah.
alongside that, with Dimension 20 and live play and D&D being such a mainstream choice of
Yeah.
product and art, I just want to know, like, how has it been to be on the other side of it, and what do you think makes Dropout work the way that it has, especially with my generation of
Yeah.
Gen Z coming to it now and being like, this is excellent. This is all I
Yeah.
watch. I have so many friends that don't have any subscriptions to anything else except for Dropout. And they're like, yep, this is all I need.
It's it's so, I'm always gonna be like a beat behind because like when I worked at College Humor starting in 2017. So
Right.
I was among the later additions to the cast. It was me, Allie, and Raph that all got added at the same time.
Hmm.
And then College Humor dissolved and sort of only became Dropout like January 2020.
Right.
So I was there for about 3 years and or 2 or whatever. But I didn't have a TikTok, or like if I did, it was like a dormant TikTok I never really used.
Yeah.
So I was not aware of what was happening with our clips that existed prior to pandemic. So I had been
Mm.
on, I think, the Who Done It episode of Game Changer. And Game Changer was just like a panel, or not panel, but like a really simple podium game show
Yeah.
that we shot in the building. And Dimension 20 was a simple, it is not simple, but
I believe
another
it.
thing we just
Yeah.
simply shot in the building we all worked in. And I think because I wasn't on TikTok, it was not clear to me at all that things were popping off on TikTok, that even our old sketches were doing well on TikTok. Because
Hmm.
I grew up, YouTube was the place you posted your sketches.
Yep.
And there was not, and then you sent them into Splitsider, you sent them into the Hairpin or whatever, hoping someone would
Yeah.
cover it.
Right.
And then you hoped somewhere like Funny or Die or College Humor might pick up your sketch if they had some sort of program like that. And so that stuff that already existed was doing well and doing better than it initially did on a new app, and it wasn't even the complete thing, was
Mm.
very new to me. It would just be
Hmm.
like 30 seconds, and it was like, didn't Vine exist and then die? Like, what
Right.
is this? And I kind of remained ignorant to that for a while, and then Game Changer did like a pandemic season. I still don't think I was aware that this stuff was like doing as well as it was.
Hmm.
And then I think once quarantine rules started to lift and we were all in person again, and it was like clear Dimension 20 was obviously that was obviously such a big thing from the beginning.
Yeah.
That I knew. But with Game Changer, it was like seeing it half a step too late all the time, where I was like, holy shit, people are recognizing me from these clips.
Mm.
That's weird. Nobody recognizes me. So that people are recognizing me, like, I saw you, people were saying, I saw you on Game Changer. You were like selling like hamburger gloves or whatever. I was like, you saw that? What are you talking about? That's crazy. This is like behind a paywall in my eyes. So in
For
my
sure.
mind, I'm like, do you subscribe to Dropout? And they'd be like,
Yeah.
no, it's just floating around on TikTok. And I was
Yep.
like, or I get a lot of, I don't know where I know you from. Are you on some random channel and I'd be like, Game Changer? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, holy
Mm,
shit. And I'm like, this didn't happen by accident. I'm all like Mr. Magooing into it, but like Sam is very, very smart and good at this stuff and good at
yes.
social media and good at business planning and creative planning. Brennan, also really, really good at that stuff. They're doing the stuff behind the scenes, and I'm like, and a year later, I'm like, oh, I see, you know?
Yeah.
So it felt very confusing, especially because like the last days at College Humor, I was the head writer there. We're talking about YouTube analytics and like
Mm,
if we should name our titles clickbaity things or not. Like, how is the algorithm going to ding us this week?
right.
And talking about views of like this thing only got 200,000 views, or like we can't put two similar sketches up next to each other. Like all these rules that like no longer seemed to be in play
Mm,
at all. Like where it's like you could put three clips of the same Game Changer episode in a day and no one cares.
yeah.
Like you could just keep reposting it. It's like, what? That's crazy. If you had like a similar thumbnail, like you had to like think about the thumbnail and like think about obviously you still have to do that for TikTok, but like the rules were so, like it was just like so clear like, oh, everything is so arbitrary. Like YouTube invented all these rules around their algorithm and then that disappeared and
Hmm.
TikTok became the thing. And now TikTok has all its rules for its
Right.
algorithm. And then
Yeah.
if TikTok explodes, that's going to it's just like it was weird to witness the rise of and the power of a completely new platform.
For
That was
sure.
crazy. And
Yeah.
how that directly impacted my life because I'm not a TikTok star. I am someone who worked at College Humor and then worked at Dropout, and now Dropout is a huge deal and I am in that family.
Yep.
So I'm like totally ass backwards into it. But it has been honestly a lifeline because there's been
Yeah.
no work. And I only work at Dropout like 6 days a year, 5 days a year.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
but there has been no work in this industry for the last 2 years.
For
So it
sure.
has been extremely helpful to have Dropout and extremely rewarding to have a group of people that's just easy to do comedy with. And as you say, that exalt improv in the way that they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ah, well, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you for everything you guys have been doing.
Oh my God.
That
Thank you
whole
for
team.
watching.
Yeah. Hey, always consistently.
Oh my
Um.
God.
But yes. It's wild stuff, and such a cool bridge of all of the things that you do.
Yes.
Now that you host with Smarty Pants, which is also a lovely show, by the way.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
and Tabletop, and your project with DesiQuest,
Yeah.
which is separate, obviously, but still has that like live play,
Yeah.
collaborative, like found family feeling,
Yeah.
which must be great also from a cultural perspective, being able to play at a table like that and work that improv muscle and storytelling muscle with this
Yeah.
long form improv that D&D is basically,
Yeah.
with that project. And how has that been? If we want to briefly touch it.
No, it's really cool. I mean, again, if we're talking about like fraud complex or whatever for this whole thing, but like I have walked into D&D ass backwards, and I recognize there's probably really serious D&D players who are like, why the hell is Rekha playing D&D? She's so bad at it. But here's what I will say. Here's
Yeah.
why I know I am asked to a table. I am there for comic relief. And while I
Boom.
have not been playing D&D for my whole life because I've literally never known anyone that played it,
Hmm.
um, I I've been doing comedy for 800 years. So I am being brought to that table for improv, story, and comedy. And then I have to try to learn how to play a level 15 character along the way.
Yeah.
You're starting me on expert mode, and I'm gonna take some time to catch up. If you don't speak French and they plop you in Paris and they go, you have to go, but you're here for comedic relief. You go, okay.
Okie dokie.
You don't learn French that way unless
Yep.
you're there for a million years. You're going to know bits and pieces, and then Abria's still going to have to help you. So I'm sorry that I play D&D for people that are mad. But playing at that Basic Quest table, it's a similar feeling where I'm like, oh my God, I'm at another D&D table and like, am I supposed to be here? And I'm like, listen, I'm here for comic relief. And also, it is really cool that we can make references to things and no one has to explain it. But
Hmm.
simultaneously, if they say North Indian stuff, they do have to explain it to me, which I hope is helpful for some
Yes.
fellow South Indians in the audience that I don't know a lot of the words that they're saying.
All right. Yeah.
And it is, I'm trying not to feel embarrassed by that, but more empowered to say, like, well, India has like 30 languages.
Right.
That's not my fault.
I didn't do that.
Like,
I didn't choose
I didn't
that.
do that. And if I have this question, I'm sure another person who grew up in a Tamil speaking household is also like, what does that word mean?
Yeah.
Uh, and they're so, again, it's another experience where I was like, oh, are they going to be like, you dumbass? They're all so like, it's this. And I'm like, whoa. And you just told me and you
Oh,
just welcomed me into kind of my own culture, but a different part of my culture. Like, we
yeah.
don't even have the same words for food. So it's just like,
Wow, cool.
I have learned a lot being at that table, and it's been
Awesome.
so nice to bond with all those people that I don't know where we would have gotten an opportunity to play
Yeah.
before, like all together,
Right.
besides this.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah,
Well, I would love to hit you with a few more
please.
questions.
Yes.
Something that I love to ask people on this show, because I think it gives me everything I need to know. Whether I've seen it before, I will watch it. What's your favorite movie? Top of your head.
I love The Farewell.
Boom. Now give us a little tiny bit about what that is and why.
The Farewell is Lulu Wang's movie based on a true story, which is that her grandmother had cancer and no one in her family wanted to tell her, so they all lied to her because they were like,
Whoa.
why does she need to know? Which is actually the most Asian thing you could possibly do, which is why do you need to know about yourself? I guarantee
Ah.
that is some shit my parents would do. If I had another sibling and I only met them now, they'd be like, why do you need to know? How does it affect you? They
Right.
just are like, why does this concern you? And so when I saw that movie, I was foaming at the mouth. I was like, this is exactly my family. Every single, even though it's about a Chinese family, like every single thing here is exactly true and is exactly the most perfect thing I've ever seen. And it is so funny.
Yeah.
Every character in that movie is so specific that it is universal. I'd never seen certain types of characters like that in a movie before.
Hmm.
And Lulu Wang just fucking nailed it. And it's
Oh,
so funny and it's so sad. It's so good. And that was such an inspiration for me for my movie. It was like
yeah.
tonally The Farewell. That movie had me laughing my ass off. But I bet you to someone who watched it like 1 hour ago, they'd be like, sorry, you were laughing your ass off? That movie's really sad.
Yeah.
But that uncle character, I got an uncle like that. That was killing me in the theater.
Right.
Like, God, that movie rocks. It's
Oh,
so good.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll check it out.
You
I
have to check it out.
100%, 100%. I like to ask that question because then I'm gonna watch that movie.
Oh God.
Because then it also explains. I truly believe that art like that resonates with people, especially film as a
Yes.
medium, explains a lot about people's way that they process emotion.
Yes.
Like you were saying, how you find different humor and
Yes.
relatability and different moments that aren't necessarily humorous.
Yeah.
And then also just like style is something that I find really noticeable. My favorite
Totally.
movie is the original Muppet movie from the
Ha!
70s.
I've never seen it. Can you believe that?
Reka.
I know.
If I
I
can
know.
do anything right
Does it
now,
make me go watch it?
yes,
I will. I will
it's
do that.
it's a perfect film.
Yeah.
I truly believe that it is.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of Henson and his work, and
Yes.
that film and its approach to story and pursuing art with people that are your found family
Yeah.
is it's beautiful. So
Yeah.
I would love for you to watch
Yeah.
that movie and let me know what you think
Yes.
if you care to. But thank you for sharing.
Oh my God, of course.
I'd love to know, and we touched on it already, but I'd love to give you the floor again. What's coming up for Reka?
Hell yeah.
What's next?
And
What do you want to be promoting, and what does the next few months or years of your artistic career look like that you're excited about?
yeah. So this movie will be the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and we're
Boom.
filming it in 3 weeks.
Whoa.
I'm so excited. If you are interested in hearing more about it, the Kickstarter is still up and has a ton of information about it, just like
Hmm.
what the movie's about, who's doing it. ReikaMovie.com, R is in Robert, E is in Elephant, K is in Kitten, H is in Harold, A is in Amy, movie.com.
Boom.
And if you're super interested in behind the scenes stuff, we have a reward that's like ongoing that people can still pledge to, where you can sign up for behind the scenes Zoom chats with us. So we did
Cool.
one last week. We had about 40 people. It was really awesome. Everyone, it was a Q&A. Anyone can ask questions. And we just went through, I like read through 2 scenes in the script. It was like, here's what we wrote. And
Hmm.
then my director went through the lookbook for it. And then we talked about like the budget and we're like, here's where this money is going towards.
Yeah.
You're our backers, you're our investors. You deserve to know all this. Do you have questions about our process? Like we tried to make it really fun. And it was awesome getting to like talk to the people that made this thing a reality. So we're gonna keep doing that.
Cool.
For all current backers, that's included. If you already are a backer, you get to go to those. Even if you backed $1, you get to go to those.
Hmm.
And then if you're not a backer, you can still back at this level and get all this cool stuff. Because I think people really enjoyed hanging out, and like I did like a table read of a scene by myself, which
Yeah.
was really fun. So that's the big thing coming up. And then other than that, wow, I would love to have something other than that. I mean,
It's a
my
big
friend
project.
yes, my friend Waleed Mansour and I are doing a podcast called We're Dead that's been really fun.
Yeah.
We're It's kind of like Comedy Bang Bang, but all the characters are in the afterlife and they're dead. And
That's awesome.
yes, so we had like the funniest episodes recently. Like we had one with Dan Lippert and Ryan Rosenberg of Man Dog Pod and Big Grande.
Mm.
So funny. Lippert's playing Bill Walton. Ryan Rosenberg's playing a dumb artist. We got some really stupid characters coming down the line. I don't want to spoil it, but maybe you get Dracula, maybe you get the Easter Bunny. It's gonna be they're so fun to film
Oh,
and came from the same nucleus that I've been talking about. Is just like I can't wait to be tapped. I have to do this all myself.
yeah.
Like everything I've done, I have bled on the sidewalk for, and I continue to do so. So like Waleed and I are like, oh, we want to practice doing characters, and we want to do more comedy that's like a little weird and a little more in our control. Let's do this podcast. Great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's already episodes out of that. It's called We're Dead. We have episodes on YouTube, but then also wherever we get podcasts.
Yeah, I'm absolutely gonna go check
Yeah.
that out.
Oh my
The
God.
the
Thank
comedy
you.
Bang Bang format works great, so that's like
Yeah.
so exciting.
Scott kind of nailed that.
He really did. He really did. Well, that's awesome. That's so
Thank
exciting.
you.
Yeah. Another quick one.
Yeah.
And maybe this isn't quick to you, but I like to ask this because I started this project also kind of as a catalyst from grief.
Yeah.
This concept of, like you were saying, like a world has ended. I feel as though a part of that world being gone is what is left behind. And people that I've lost, I don't have recordings of. Do you know what I mean? Like recorded conversations. Because conversation is such a a pinnacle of being a human, right? Like
Yeah.
our communication with one another. And so I did this to preserve artists in this city and have a connection in this city, and have a connection to me and matter to me. And so with that being said, the recording becomes forever in the
Yeah.
sense that it becomes a capsule of a moment in time. And it got me thinking about legacy and what you leave behind. So I would love to get your thoughts on how you'd like to be remembered and what that means
Mm.
to you.
Yeah. I mean, I hope I make people laugh,
Hmm.
and that I strike them as someone that does the projects they want to do, that I have a voice.
Mm,
I think it's really hard to carve out a voice in this industry
yep.
because you have to constantly battle between what job you can get and what you actually want to be doing.
Mm,
And I hope, because again, it's so hard to see from the inside looking out, right? Like Dropout successful, I'm like, oh, it is, like I'm like a step
right.
behind,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes other people reflect back to me, what they think my voice is. And I hope I have a strong one. And I hope that you see yourself or anxieties that you have being expressed and made fun of and being made catharsis of through my work, the way I
Mm,
have done with other people's work,
yeah.
for so long. I hope that people can watch my work and feel a little piece of me relates to a piece of them.
That's beautiful. That makes
Yeah.
total sense. I mean, you want to impact those around you. And
Yeah.
yeah, I fully believe you have done that so far.
And can
So,
I say a dumber second legacy?
absolutely, please.
I would love to just be an Indian woman that plays a stupid person. I would just love to be like a stupid, dumb sidekick. Like, I
Right.
feel like these are all like oafish white guy roles. And I'm like, can I just be stupid? Can someone hire me to be like a stupid idiot in a show? I would just
Right.
love that to be part of my legacy. It's just like,
Please.
I just want to play an idiot. It makes me so happy to think about playing a dumb idiot, and I just want to do that. And I feel like because that's like a racial barrier. I'm like, "Oh, no, I can be a dumb idiot. Like, please just let me. It doesn't have to just be like big gruff white guys. Like, I can be stupid. So that's my
Let me
other
break down
legacy.
this wall.
Please let me be stupid. I just want to be stupid.
I want to pioneer this
Yes.
new type of character,
Yes.
please.
Oh my God. It's like there's no like I don't know what character I would have to audition for. There's nobody writing for like a dumb idiot Asian woman. Like, please just let me do it. Ugh.
Well, to anyone listening who's incredibly in the need for an
A dumb Asian
oafish,
woman. Please, please,
dumb
please,
Asian
please,
woman
please,
character,
please.
Rekha is your gal.
Please.
That sounds awesome. That sounds great.
Thank
I hope that
you.
gets. I'm sure it'll happen. Right? I
Thank
mean, come on.
you.
Now you've put it into the world. You've
I
put it
know.
right. You've manifested it.
My two beautiful legacies. Something about resonating with my voice, and please let me be an idiot on a skateboard that breaks through your house, please.
But then it comes back to your career of being an idiot,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. So it all wraps up together. It's full
Yes,
circle.
exactly.
Well, that's awesome, Rekha. Well, that just about does it.
Awesome.
With the project. Thank you so much for doing this. I have really little quick things that I want to throw at you, just
Yeah.
so people can find you.
Yes,
Um,
please.
So, first of all, I would, love for this project to keep growing. To me, it's about the web that
Yeah.
I am building. I have, I do a newsletter, I do all this stuff for this project so I can get artists to meet artists. That's kind
Yeah,
of
that's
because it's
cool.
all about collaboration and I really want it to continue. And so I would love if you have anyone that you'd recommend for me to
Mm,
interview that has a
yeah.
connection to Philly that you think would make a fun conversation to add to the book.
Hmm. Okay, let's see. Who's from Philly? Okay, my friend Alex Ekman Lawn. Do you know this artist, Alex Ekman Lawn? He's from Philly. He does
Gotcha.
incredible work. He's so talented.
Hmm.
Um, you can probably interview my boyfriend. He's a director.
Please?
Not to kind of keep it so nepo, but
I,
he's from Philly.
I don't
Um,
care.
and he's like your prototypical wears black, has a tattoo, and if he's not wearing black, is only wearing some Philadelphia sports logo
Awesome.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
I've met that person.
yeah.
Right.
Who else? I mean, literally every person I name dropped earlier that is like my roommate is a comedian who performed at Fit a lot.
Yeah,
We have Luke Field. My friend Jessica Ross performed at Fit a lot and is a college humor legend.
I would
Her
love to talk to Jess.
She rocks. Her wife, Kate Thompson, is also from Philadelphia, and she's an illustrator. She illustrated my Kickstarter shirt.
Oh,
Um,
great.
and she illustrated. Jess and I had a podcast called Erotic Book Club, or Erotic Clubhouse, where we would do fan fiction, and Kate illustrated all of it.
Oh,
So
that's
she's a
brilliant.
fantastic, yeah, Philly artist. Who else is from Philadelphia that absolutely rocks? Um, Gosh, these are the people immediately coming to mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and Sarah Cowell, honestly, the person who does all the
Yes,
cool social media for Teen Moms and Queen and Rook, she's really cool.
I would love to do. Yeah, both of those
Yeah,
places matter a whole lot to me. So
yeah,
that sounds great.
that
Uh,
rocks.
yeah, thank you. I will do my best to reach out.
Hell yeah.
The I yeah, that's lovely. I really am interested about like you were saying, like Philly people finding each other outside of Philly and continuing art. And
Yeah,
I think that is also a very big part of the web that I want to focus on too. Of like not only
yeah,
the people that are based here and that do work here, but the people that like care about this place still,
yeah.
and are influenced by it through their art, like you are with your movie being in Philadelphia, like having that setting.
I have a confession to make. We couldn't afford to go to Philadelphia, so it can't be set there anymore.
Ah,
Does that make you want to erase the podcast?
uh, mm,
Okay.
no, no, it
I'm
doesn't.
really sorry.
No,
I'm really
no, it doesn't.
sorry.
No, 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 no. It's
We literally
fine.
had to
It's
do this
fine.
week. They were like, "Is it okay if it's not in Philadelphia?" Because the place we got has palm trees outside of it, so we cannot
Ah,
fake it. And I was like, "Wow, okay." But I
dang.
am changing where she works to be in Philadelphia instead
Understood.
of yeah. I'm
Well,
really
that still
sorry, Gideon.
matters. It's
If you
okay.
have to erase the whole episode, I totally get it.
I'll think about it. Give me like a
Okay.
few business days and I'll get back to you.
I think M. Night Shyamalan takes all the Philly film credits. Like, we
He
can't fund. It's
does.
too
He
expensive.
does.
It's
If you want, I could just like take a street video on my phone and send it to you if you want.
okay.
Like,
You laugh, but
because that'll be free. I don't care. I don't
yeah.
need to make a dime off of that. Either way, still influenced.
Thank you.
It still
I
matters.
had to tell that to you. It would have made me sick
I
if we did
appreciate
the
the honesty.
outro. Thank
hmm
you.
That matters. That matters to me.
It does.
Well, thank you. And lastly, where can people find you? How can people contact you and make
Yeah.
art with you and keep up with what you're doing?
So my most used social media is Instagram. So Rekha_S. I post a lot of updates about like, what's going on with me there. But also I have a newsletter, buttondown.com / Rekha Shankar.
Mm.
That is where I'm updating people for free on all my creative stuff. And I do sometimes little essays about like creative process stuff. I also have a Patreon. If you're like, you know what, Rekha, I love your newsletter, but I would love to give you money for it. That's awesome.
Something about this makes me want to pay.
Something makes me want to pay.
Yeah.
And I give the Patreon members a little bit more where I like take old sketches we never made at College Humor and I break them down and give notes to myself on them.
Cool.
If that's of interest to you.
That's rad.
So those are all spots you can follow me. And then if you're like, none of that sounds interesting, but the movie does, this movie that's not in Philadelphia, go to RekhaMovie.com for more. And if you happen to know any older Tamilian actors, we're trying to find Tamil speaking like 60-year-old plus actors. Please
Okay.
have them reach out to me
Absolutely.
at vidyasguidemovie.com because we need all these Tamilians and we don't know where to find them right now.
Where are you?
Where are you?
Where
Could you
are
be
you?
here? Could you be here at the end of October?
Right.
I have something to think about.
Within a week or so, can you get here? Well, yes. I will include every one of those places and links in the description of the episode below, as well as our newsletter. I will keep everybody updated on everything Rekha is doing for the rest of time. That's how my newsletter works. It's just kind of this consistent list that keeps going. So it's just going to get bigger and bigger and harder for me to do, and I love it. And if you know any actor that fits that description, please either send them my way or send them Rekha's way, and we'll get them in this movie.
Yes.
I will actually, because I do theater here, so I can absolutely be like, anybody know anybody?
Please.
I'll reach out to as many of the theaters that I've worked with about that and industry folks.
Hell yeah.
And yes, thank you, Rekha, for doing this. This means the world. It has been an absolute pleasure to get to know you. And if you ever find yourself in Philly, we're around. If you ever need help promoting art, I got you. And yeah, thank you for what you do.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for welcoming me into your universe. I appreciate
Happily.
it.
And thank you, the listener, for spending a little bit of your day listening to our conversation. I was your host, Gideon Carroll McDonald. This was another episode of the Philly Phone Book, a podcast archive. Real art is made by real people. Thank your SEPTA drivers, and have an excellent day. Bye-bye.
Bye.